Hello,
Well, what's going on, Ken? What's
What's
happening,
up,
brother? How are
man?
you?
It's been a crazy day.
I'm good,
Got
man. How about you? How's it going?
good. It's good.
Staying busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice,
How about you?
nice. Good stuff, man. Yeah, same here, man. Same here. Keep busy trying to get all these loans in, get them out, get it moving. Get them going, man. That's all. That's all it is, man. Trying to get all these investors with the new properties, right? So, welcome everybody to REI Happy Hour. This is how we do every single Friday, 5 p.m. Started a little late. It's all right. It's all good. We got some good stuff happening today, and I think we've had a pretty good momentum of everyone that's wanting to get into um the topic of today, right? So we're gonna get a little bit into that, talk about a little bit about the investment, real estate investing events that's been happening in the past couple weeks, some more coming
Mm.
up, and things that you places and events you need to be at to be able to really get your um, line of circle of of connections for the business. That's very important when it comes to REI investing, right? So my name is Danny Campos Capital Group, here out of the Atlanta office with my man.
Ken Board out of the Charlotte office.
Hey, I got it right this time. I go this way.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I did. I went that
Yeah, you
way.
did.
So thanks for everybody that's joining us right now live on Campos Capital page. Please follow us on Facebook if you don't already, and YouTube. We also have most of our videos that pop up on our YouTube pages specifically. So please make sure to follow. And one thing we ask from everyone: share the live, share the live. We
Sure,
have some
definitely.
really nice topic today, so we definitely want to share with everyone of how you can improve when it comes to doing a scope of work. Very important. Lilian Campos already in the check-in. Gracias, Lilian. Thank you for being
Nice.
here. And big shout out to everybody that's right now with us live on REI Happy Hour. But yeah, please make sure to share it on your groups, on your page, so we can get this thing started. So Ken, first of all, how about we go over actually, how about we go with your favorite part of the live? Go
Oh,
ahead.
the drink.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
So I'm keeping it really simple just because it's been a crazy day and I'm still at the office and I couldn't even, I got kicked out. I mean, this is a good thing. I got kicked out of the conference room where I usually do the video because we have clients here and,
Nice.
my
Very
colleague
nice.
Maria is in a meeting right now. So I am in the
Excellent.
office and I'm just doing American Classic Coors Banquet. If you
Yeah,
just
I, mean,
want
I
something
hear about
simple,
that
like
one. I hear about that one.
it's,
Haven't had it yet.
it's way better than Coors Light. It's like it's got a
Just
little.
regular
It
light.
doesn't taste like water. It does. It does. It actually has a little bit of flavor to it. So it is cheap. It's
Oh, is
domestic.
it?
Yeah, I mean you could buy a case for less than $20. So I mean there
Oh,
you
very
go.
nice.
Today's economy and inflation. This is the
Gotta
way to go.
save all them beers, save all those cans of beers.
Yep.
Man. So in my case, I'm really going really simple too as well. I really just grabbed anything that was in the fridge. So it's a Topo Chico. There it is, Topo Chico hard
Oh yeah,
seltzer,
here you go.
some lemon
There you
lime. I
go. Very
guess.
nice.
I mean, I guess it's a good way to start a Friday, right? We usually
Yeah.
start off with old fashions and stuff, but it's been, I guess it's been a
Yeah,
little too busy for us to
I
focus
didn't
on
have
actually
that.
making a cocktail.
Yeah, and I didn't have those ingredients here at the office, so I had to stick to you know
we
basic
gotta
gear.
have we gotta have like a REI happy hour corner where it's all the ingredients we need for our life. That'd be nice.
True. Yeah,
Just roll the
that's
bar in.
true.
Just roll the bar in the office. All
I
right.
should have a
So
portable bar here at the office.
everyone else that is logged in with us and has joined us, please let us know what you're drinking. Again, this is REI happy hour. It's a Friday, 5 p.m. We want to get together and just chat it up a little bit about the market, different topics, and if you're having a drink, let us know what you're drinking. Maybe a lot of you are probably just drinking the water while you're driving, so that'd be the best thing to do. But if you're having a drink already, starting off the weekend right, let us know. That'd be awesome. But yeah, continue to share the live. And in a few minutes, we're about to start it off with our topic. In the meantime, let's talk about a little bit about the events that's been happening. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that came out last night for our Atlanta Night of
Nice.
Connections. We have every single second Thursday of the month. with my partner Kiara Velasco from Tu Casita in Georgia. We had a really, really nice crowd last night. Not only that, I have to give a huge shout out to Leslie. Leslie came all the way from Miami, Florida to come to the event.
Wow.
2 in the morning. She already left earlier today um, to talk about LLCs. So, which is a very hot topic right now with a lot of changes that's happening in the LLC. And maybe we actually could take, we actually, not had someone, but I think that so we'll probably either bring somebody on because I think that's obviously a topic more for someone who specializes in the field that be able to inform us more about what's going on with the LLCs. But um, yesterday she was able to share a lot of good, I got a lot of good tips, which I am definitely gonna implement with my clients and my business myself. So very, very interesting topics we spoke about last night. We had a few mentors and coaches that stopped by too as well. They really, really, one of them was his first time, and he really liked the dynamic of the group and how we've been doing this to try to grow in reality, grow the grow the investors circle of connections, each
Yeah.
exchange and go together, right? I think that's what it's all about. You just had one, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, Ken.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so we are actually a vendor sponsor. Campos Capital Group is of NCREA here in North Carolina, and they have a couple different locations. So there's Charlotte, right? That's where we are. That's our main. That's who we are, the main vendor for the Charlotte area. And there's also Wilmington, North Carolina, and there's Raleigh, which they call NC uh, or I can never get the acronym right. So I can't say it fast enough. Is West, right? So that's up in Raleigh. So they asked me to present a few months ago up in Raleigh, which if people are on here and they're from this area, they know that's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive. I said yes. I thought it was a great opportunity to meet people up in that market of North Carolina. Yeah, it was great. Had a huge turnout. There was really no seats left. It was, it wasn't long. It was a 2 hour, like kind of networking thing. I spoke for about an hour, and it really what I spoke
Nice.
about was just the ins and outs of hard money and private money, the differences, what the expectations are. We did talk about scope of work a little bit. We talked about comps and the importance of doing the research prior. So it was a really good turnout. It was a really engaged crowd. There was beginners, experienced investors, realtors, wholesalers. There was a little bit of everything there. I was very impressed with how many like experienced investors were there. Very engaged, tons of questions. It's a really good group for everybody that lives in North Carolina, whether you're in the Wilmington, Charlotte, or Raleigh. I definitely recommend it. Um, they have they not only have their main and the meeting I went to wasn't even the main monthly meeting, which is crazy, right?
Oh
Like
wow.
so their main meetings are the third. Forgive me, you could go to NCR I oh my gosh. NCRIA oh, oh my gosh, REA, whatever. Anyways, my tongue is messing up right now. And just go to their website and you can like see all the different things. They have Zooms. They do educational Zooms for short term, long term. They talk about wholesaling. They do like all this different stuff, but they have their main meetings in person at the same location every month, the third and on the third week of each month. And they do have some trickled in different in person stuff like the one I went to. So if
Okay.
you're in North Carolina, I definitely recommend it. The full without the acronym is North Carolina Real Estate Investor Association. So if you look that up, you can find them. They're all about education. Again, sorry, I don't want to keep going on about it, but it was a very good experience. And I'm very happy we're a part of that association. So
Good. That's good stuff, man. So yeah, definitely please anybody in that area check him out. I think all that's just going to be allow you to grow and learn more in the business, and
yep.
obviously start to get some more connections. And that's again the networking, very important part of this business. So good. But yeah, I think that's well. I know there's a few events coming up. We'll probably mention them a little down the line on well, later than down the month, as they start getting they start get closer to I think end of February. We have a few. So, but for now, that's what happened this past week in events, and always be with us every single week, so you can know exactly what's happening, especially with Campus Capital Group. All right, so I think we can go ahead and get into the topic. And I guess we're to be honest, for everyone who's listening right now is going to see the video later on down the road. Um, why we wanted to speak to about scope of work is for the fact where this is such a hot topic when it comes to when you're investing in real estate, investing in a property, and we have a lot of people that constantly ask us questions on what's the best way of doing a scope of work, you know, um, why to do a scope of work, and there's some people that tell me why do I need a scope of work. So I think it's great if we cover a little bit about the topic. What's the importance of it? So I don't know where you want to go, Ken. First, why is it important for you and your clients to have a scope of work?
Well, I'll piggyback on right what I was talking about earlier this weekend, I think. So it's important for a few reasons, but for us personally, well, first of all, it's important for the investor themselves, right? They want to budget themselves. They want to be able to do the right, figure out what the right return on investment is going to be, right? They want to be as close as possible. Obviously, in this world, there's always surprises. There's always things that come up, but you want to be as close as possible and as accurate as possible on the scope of work, because that's going to help you determine how much money you're actually going to get in return, right? After whether you flip it or you refine it, whatever the process might be. So that's the first thing. But with us, like Danny and I, financial eyes, right? Coming from the lender's eyes, okay, this is part of one of the biggest pieces in how we figure out the numbers, and we kind of connect the dots, right? When it comes to the
Right.
information our clients give us. So there's going to be an appraiser, right? There's going to be someone that's going to go out to the house 90% of the time. Obviously, there's gray everywhere. There's gray all the time, right? But for most of the time, we're going to have an appraisal. That appraiser is going to go out to the house. They're going to have that scope of work. They are going to walk the property, walk the house. They're going to look at everything, and they're going to see everything that's been done. And that is one of the biggest pieces that's going to determine the value, the ARV, that you are going to get. And that's huge, right? Because the ARV is everything. That's what we base off pretty much all our numbers off of, right? So you want to be as accurate as possible. And for some reason, if there's something that throws the appraiser off, like, oh, I'm remodeling the whole kitchen and it's you put $1,000, like that's going to throw them off, right? So that's going to probably affect the numbers, or they're not going to be able to do an accurate appraisal. Like there might be some kind of setback. So you want to be as accurate as possible with that. So like I always tell my clients, if they're not general contractors themselves, right? And a lot of investors aren't. They have relationships with general contractors. So if you're not, and you do not have the experience, or even if you do, bring a second pair of eyes, right? Like be more conservative, be as careful as possible. But bring on your walkthroughs, when you look at a property, you should have someone with you, someone you trust, someone that's going to do the right work, is going to give you the best pricing, and all that. So yeah, I mean that's like my bird's eye view
Yep.
outlook
I
of
agree.
it.
Definitely, and that's the reason why we're going over this. Even if you're not using a lender for one of your properties, and let's say you're
Yeah.
just paying for it cash, you still need that scope of work. I mean, you're not going to know how much reality you're putting into the property. How is that compared to some of the properties in the area? There's so many things that go into a scope of work. It's very important for you to budget numbers, make sure you have that good return on investment. So this is the reason why we're going over this. So we're going to go over an example, a really bad example and a really good example. And this just happened to me this past what happened. when I saw what the appraisal came back with, I'm like, holy smokes, this is awesome. It all came down to the how much attention I sat down with my client to redo that scope of work. Like we sat down and I'm like, listen, we gotta redo this whole thing.
Wow.
And we redid it, and our appraiser was like in love. He gave us such a great value. Well, I'll get a little bit into that. For now, let's go over. I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna kind of go over this rehab budget. Um, and so this is another thing too. Ed's listening to us live. If you need a rehab budget, please feel free to send us a message
Yes, definitely.
on 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 the chat. Let us know if you need a rehab budget template, a scope of work template. Let us know. We feel it's more than happy to share our template, which is a very and actually I've heard this twice this week when they heard that we're gonna have this live on scope of work. Two people comment they love our scope of work. They said our scope of work is very easy to manage, and it's
Yeah.
exactly what you need to put into a scope of work to make it work for an appraiser, right? So, I hope I can share that. I didn't even try that. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. Let me know
Yeah,
if
our
everybody.
scope of work, and Danny, you and I have seen a lot of different scope of works being, working with other lenders and stuff like that, because every lender requires their own, which can be a pain. But we've definitely seen, and I definitely think our scope of work is very easy to manage and easy to understand.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
absolutely. Yep. All right, so just waiting for it to pop up. JP, if you could try to see if you could go ahead and add the screen with the scope of work with the share screen. Sorry, we're just trying to figure this out. Make sure we got it right.
There we
Boom,
go.
there it is. All right, we're in action.
Oh damn, I can't
So
see.
this is. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on, hold on.
No, I can't. It's just a little for me. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone else can probably see it. It's just
All right, cool. So
even with my glasses.
actually, you know what? Just to give you an idea, this is how a scope of works looks like. All right, this is how a scope of works looks like. Right. So it's just based off of what you have here on your detailed everything you have detailed of what's happening, what you're gonna do to this property, in addition to obviously what how much what's gonna be your budget for each item, right? So that's just to give you an overall view of it. Okay. So let's go into the beautiful part of this. This is a property in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry. I'm on the wrong screen. All right. It's the single family home, 6,200 square feet, 7 bedrooms, six
Oh,
and a
wow,
half baths. Once it's rehab, square footage, 7.7. Okay.
that's a
So,
small house.
yeah, very small, right? So this is where, again, a this is where um a appraiser is gonna really base himself off of, just to make sure that he's getting that everything looks good for based on the comparables, right? Making sure that all the work that's going to get done, all the work that's detailed on the scope of work, he can really visualize once he goes to the property and say, okay, here, okay, I see where everything's going to happen, right? Um, so based off of that, right now, here's a few mistakes already. For demo and trash out, it says dumpster. Oh, by the way, I just want to say that this I kind of inputted a few other things. It wasn't as bad as this, but it could be as we've seen as bad as this, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad. So, but just to give you more of the idea, um,
Hmm.
you see where it says demo and trash out, right? Dumpster, $1,500. All right. So again, the total of this whole project was going to come out to $257,208. Right. That was the total. You're telling me that your trash out is going to be $1,500 worth of dumpsters? Negative. Impossible. There's one red flag, okay? But you have to think about things like that, all right? How many dumpsters I'm gonna need, and you'll see. We're gonna see it in the next one, where I believe we added 9 dumpsters, which the price eventually went all the way up. No permits, another red flag. This is definitely not a yeah, exactly. And there's no permits for this whatsoever. Which I feel like this is where a lot of our clients they kind of go that route, right? Oh no, we're good.
Okay, this is cosmetic. This is cosmetic.
Yeah,
we don't need permits. We don't need permits.
Exactly. You got to redo the whole pool. It's cosmetic. I'm telling you. Again, another red flag.
Expensive paint.
How about this? We're gonna start putting red flags everywhere. How about that? There you go. Red flags. No, it's not even too visual. How about this? Red flag. Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Plants front porch. Okay. So yes, that definitely is going to give it a nice visual. But I feel like it needs to be a little bit more specific than this, and it kind of helps out. Not only that, if I'm trying to think about the lot size, it's a pretty big lot. $835 worth of plants is not going to do it, right? But a little bit more of what's the landscaping is going to be would help out a lot, right? So we can that can also have an improvement on that. Retaining wall. Install new retaining wall around the house. 15,600. I think that's pretty doable. I mean, it can be a little bit more. I feel like it is, but let's say that still could work out. Tree removal. It just says yes. So okay, we get it. There's gonna be trees that are removed. Yeah. It'll be nice if it'd be like 2 trees, trees front lawn, right?
Yeah, front lawn.
Trees on here. Okay, so I can't type mentioning. Right, and then and 2 huge trees backyard. So that at least gives them an idea of visual. Again, we're trying to get them visually what it is. And of course, that's not going to cost you $1,200 easily, maybe $3,500, right? All right. New wood fence for $5,000. The size of this property, no, not happening. Again, and in many cases, right? No, and in many cases, we understand that this is going to be like, hey, I know somebody that knows somebody. I'm going to get a hookup. Cool. That's okay. But what happens? The appraiser's never going to know that. He's not going to know you're going to have a hookup. The only thing he's in his head is, I want to make sure that this property is actually going to get the right value based on the work I see on the scope of work. That's not a right scope of work for that type of fence, right?
I mean, you might think it's chicken wire with that price. I mean,
yeah. So again, there's a few things here that I think. Another one, pavers on the porch. What does that really mean, right? A new garage door for $1,500. We're talking about again, this is a $1.5 million home. A new garage door for $1,500, I don't think we'll do it, right? I mean, I don't want $1 million home, but I would think so, right? This is a big one. Renovate windows. How many? Right?
Yeah.
How many?
You gotta have them.
1,000 is pretty high. So we're assuming that's pretty much all of them, maybe, right? But that's something that needs to be specific. Stairways, renovate. 1,115. Renovate what of the stairways? What's going on with the stairways? Again, specifics on a scope of work, very crucial. Demolish current chimney, install new one. $2,000.
Demolish the chimney
and install a new one. The
No way.
reason why is because the chimney is like, have you seen one of these old houses where the chimney is like right, like in between the living room, like in the middle of the living room, and it's not
It's
against a
one of
wall or
those.
something. Yeah, so they're knocking that down and putting it against the wall.
Oh, so
That's
they're building a whole new one.
yes, exactly.
That's insane. There's no way that's 2000.
No way. All right, cool. New condenser, HVAC, new furnace, 18,000. Pretty legit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is good. 6 regular exterior doors, 1 front door, and 5 slide doors. Specifics.
Exactly. Perfect.
Specifics. Now, 27 interior doors. Again, really good details on that. Create an open concept. $7,000. But what is that? What is it going to involve? Which wall is it? It would be open. Mostly open concept is the kitchen, but more specific, it'll be better, right? This is one that I was again. Here's another one: floor vinyl laminate. Yes. What does that mean? What rooms? Which stairways? Living room? Where are you going to put laminate? What type of laminate? Right? In
Yeah.
185 or a $6,000 square foot property. That's very hard to see. Right? Again, you could have had that hookup flooring, right? You could have had the hookup on the flooring, but
Yeah, and they can be more specific of where it's going to be. Maybe that is that price.
Yeah,
Maybe it's only going to be in the laundry room or something. Like put it only vinyl in the laundry, vinyl flooring in the laundry room. Like put where it's going to be.
And that makes more sense, right? But what about the other stuff, right? Look what Arnold said. 40-yard dumpster in California is $850. Shout out to Arnold. He's in the check-in. Welcome, bro. Here you go. Look at that. A 40-yard dumpster, $850. And over here talking about $1,500 for a $6,000 square foot remodel. All right, so okay, so this is one that I think is another one that I think is huge. And I have to say I also did a lot of the scope of work with one of our internal partners, and she also gave me a lot of like red flags to be able to help out the client. So I really appreciate her on that. But this one is one that she caught. New marble whole kitchen area. Marble is very expensive.
Heck yeah!
Right? And it's something that you got to think about. Well, if it's a $1.5 million home, you definitely want to put some marble in there, right? But is that really going to cost you $4,000, or is just that per sheet? No, okay, it's not per sheet, but that could literally be just how much of the kitchen, right? Is it that for just maybe a small little island? Is that what the marble?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's low.
So, all of that, right? Okay, this is that's another one. New fridge, $1,200. That's for a little Samsung, 2-door refrigerator.
Hey, what's wrong with Samsung? Why you gotta be Samsung? Why you gotta be Samsung?
But again, a $1.5 million home. You're not gonna put a little Samsung refrigerator in there.
No, that's exactly. I know.
You know what I'm saying? So it was funny. We started looking it up. I mean, you could easily go to like 5,000, right? But of course, you don't want to go that high because you're just buying appliances to be moving ready, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if they want to go a little extra fancier, which they probably would, then they can do that on their own. But very important. Another one. This is a big one too. Here, new toilets, $1,050. So let's do this real quick. This is where I'm sorry cracking up. $1,050, right? So you're telling me on 7 bathrooms, there's gonna be $150 toilets on there.
It's the Kmart special right there.
Exactly. Kmart special right there. So again, is that reasonable? What do you think the appraiser is going to say based off of that, right? So again, what
you buy a toilet seat for that much?
So
seats are close to that much.
Based off of that scope of work, you got to think is it really going to give me the value I need for my property? You know, even is the loan even going to work out, right? And so that's the biggest question when it comes to scope of work. Um, One thing that I think I tell a lot of my clients, um, very important to do. This is just a tip for everyone. I don't know, Ken, you might have a tip also that you use, but this is something I learned from a very experienced investor. Tell me, to be honest, man, I get a lot of good information from a lot of my real big investors, even the new ones. They come up with some amazing ideas. But this one specifically, you know, he likes to actually go to. This is very crazy, but I love it. He actually likes to go to all the comps. Okay, goes to all the comps, goes to their houses, knocks on the door, and hey, I'm sorry, I'm buying a property really close to you, and I saw that you bought this property 3 months ago. Congratulations. Very, very weird, but I just want your honest opinion. What what made you fall in love with this house? What was it? Was it the kitchen? Was it anything specific? And especially if you got the housewife answering the call, I mean the door. It says they always say something specific. Either, it was, I love the open concept and the how the island they put on in the kitchen. That really what I really loved it. Or the double vanity and the walk-in closet. Like that was my favorite. Whatever it was, he uses that and puts in his
Puts a
property.
wow. That's I mean
Why?
that's
Why?
dedication right there.
Yes, and that's actually how you study a property. And so, what's the benefit of that? When an appraiser is going to come and see your scope of work and see that this comparable number one had a walk-in closet, double vanity in the master bedroom, and you have that on yours. Oh wow, okay, cool. Open concept, nice island with even a wine cellar refrigerator. Okay, cool. So he sees it on all three comparables and sees it on yours. What do you think he's going to go with the value? He's going to increase it at a really high mark. But that's the study you have to do behind that, right? Behind looking into what are you actually going to do for the budget of your house to make sure you get that value. So I think that was a really good tip that I got from him. I don't know if you have any on your side that you use.
No, I don't have any tips from like a contractor or an investor that I can think off the top of my head. But the two things I'll say really quick is like what we're saying. You got to always keep in mind too, what is your exit strategy, right? If you know you're going to sell the house, Danny's like 100% on. Like you have to sell the house, right? The house has to be, appealing. The house. I'm not saying you have to go buy the most expensive chandeliers and the most expensive appliances, but you want to make it so if someone walks through that house and wants to buy it like immediately, almost like there's something they love about it and they want to buy it. So it's very important. Now, if you're going to rent it and you know you're going to hold it, you might be able to cut back on some things, right? You got to have something that's going to be livable, right? You got to have something that's everything works, everything, if someone can see themselves living there, right? Because when it comes down to it, it's still your property. You can always renovate it later if you were going to sell it, but you gotta know what your kind of your exit strategy is and what you plan on doing. That's the first thing I want to mention, right? You don't have to do all the hoopla, go through everything if you're gonna to hold on to it, so you can save some money there. The other thing too, back on the appraiser thing, I just wanted to make a point, especially with Danny when he went through this scope of work. Remember too, you want to be specific because you don't want to leave anything open for debate. I guess I don't know how else to say it, to articulate it, but remember the money that you get if you're financing this, if this is something you're going to finance through a lender, that scope of work, you're going to get draws based on your scope of work. If there's something that's not on that scope of work, guess what? You're not going to get the money.
Or that you added to get a good value, but you didn't do it.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. Like if you leave something up or something too open to maybe where the lender itself maybe thought of it a different way, that could be a problem down the road, right? So like if you end up doing the kitchen, or you say you do the whole interior, but you forgot to put doors, and for some reason the lender thought you were just painting the doors, but you actually went ahead and replaced all the doors, you're not going to get the money for replacing all those doors.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay the difference. So that's another reason why you want to be very specific. You don't want to leave anything up for interpretation. That's what I was looking for. So you want to be as specific and detailed as possible, because you leave something out, it's coming out of your pocket. That's it. Sorry. That's all I got.
I agree. Yeah. So now we're going to go into the real good scope of work. A beautiful scope of work, dedicated some time, a lot of research.
Yeah.
And I still think there's spaces and there's like areas where it could have been a little bit better. But we were kind of cutting it short on how much rehab costs we could put into this property, right? So go ahead, JP, if you could put on the share screen. And I'm gonna go straight down to the bottom. Do you remember how much it was before?
267, I think.
338.
Sorry, 338. Wow, it's a big
338.
Big jump.
All right. So what's the difference? Like what improvements were made to make sure we get that right? So 6 dumpsters, $5,000. A little bit better, right? Electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and contractor permits and plans, $15,000.
That was missing completely.
Exactly. Install new rating walls around the retaining walls. Oh, that's definitely not spelled right. 15,600. That was the same. Clean small trees. That's why it was 1,200. New wood fence, 7,500. So now this is one of the parts where I told her, like, I think we need to be a little bit more specific in regards to where you're gonna put the wooden fence, because it wasn't around the whole house, right? We still missed it. Everything was right with the pool. Replaced complete driveway. In the other one, she had put $20,000 for, I think it just said new driveway. That's all it said. Creating tile patio in the backyard, $12,000. Pavers on the front porch, $4,000. I think she had $1,200 last time. Mm-hmm. New roof, $23,000, as opposed to, I believe, $18,000. 34 windows, more specific, $19,500. Oh no, is it? Where's the one that? There's one that. Okay, so. Okay. This was the part where it said yes only for the vinyl laminate.
Vinyl flooring, second floor. Okay.
Second floor. So that makes a lot more sense. Why? She was doing it on the second floor. Okay. This was one that I was. Oh, here it goes. New model screen fridge, $2,200, stainless steel. Yeah. Let's see descriptions, right? Descriptions. The toilets. We went for $1,050 to $4,900. Now that's some nice little toilets right there. Woo! You're gonna be sitting in royalty. And your 10% contingency, which wasn't on the other one either. Now we're at $338,000 for scope of work. Okay, based off of that, here's the numbers. Based off of that, property purchase price, $885,000. $338,000 in repairs. With the other scope of work, let me say this first. With the other scope of work, doing a desktop appraisal, the lender had approved that at $1,400,000, which meant that there was a huge, the return of investment percentage was very tight, very tight. Yeah. We increased it another 60,000, 70,000. Official appraisal came at 1.71.
Wow.
What a difference because of the scope of work, man. Yeah. Again, the importance of it, right? Like sometimes we want, yes, we want to run through a loan process, We want to run through a vetting a property, but the scope of work is something that you need to pay attention to, and it's something important to try to take your time with it. Why? Because at the end of the day, that can either be your approval, or at the end of the day, that can even be what your numbers are going to finally be at. But if you don't do that work, the extra legwork to try to get your scope of work done right, sorry, that it's going to be, it could really, really be what at the end of the day, like either denies your loan, or once you're done with it, you realize you spend so much more than when you thought,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's our that's a little bit of a, and this is just a piece of it. I mean, there's so much more to it that I
Yeah,
think that
definitely.
we would talk for hours on it. But hopefully, this was very helpful for everyone. I don't know, Ken, if you had anything else to what we just talked about.
No, I mean, just I think a lot of people when they're looking at a property or they're trying to find funding, they think they're doing themselves justice because they're looking. They know they have to meet this certain margin to try to get approval, and they think they're probably doing justice by having the rehab look a little lower or have those numbers. But this is a perfect example of that wasn't the case, right? Making sure that value was there, even though it went up $60,000. Look at what it did for the appraisal. You know what I mean? Like there's the margin's so much better than they even expected.
Oh,
So just be accurate, because when it comes down to it, it's gonna make everyone's life a lot easier to get the process done.
yeah, and even if you have somebody that's helping you out to do the project, or you have a warehouse full of like discounted material, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, even kudos to you. I mean, you're gonna have
Yeah,
a,
exactly.
a lower loan amount now because you didn't use the whole rehab budget, right? But in the beginning, that first visual look for the appraiser is how much uh, market pricing for all this work is going to be done. That's what they want to look at. That's what they
Yep.
want to look at. They don't know if you got to hook up. They don't know if you're, the number one contractor of the state and you're doing the whole work. They don't know none of that. They don't care. They want to just make sure that it's actually going to get done by because what happens? What happens if you're the one who's going to do the work and a week into the project, you fall down from the second story, from the second story of the house. What happens then, right? Now you have to get a contractor to come do everything. What if you didn't have that budget because you were doing it? So there's so many reasons why it's done this way. So it's important for us to just kind of follow it, make sure that we are doing it right to be able to get some good approvals on these, especially for the loans. So thank you everybody for joining us. REI
Yes,
Happy
thank
Hour.
you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys enjoyed this, would like to see a little bit more of these type of lives, let us know in the comments. Send us a direct message so that we can also follow up with any of these lives that are, again, very educational, and you can learn a lot from how to really not only start your projects, run your loans, and get great approvals, get some real good properties that you're flipping or making into rentals. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Adios. See you next Friday.
See you
Peace out.
guys.